Hi, and welcome to a series I'm doing called Getting the Most Out of Your Traxxas T. Today we're going to be talking about how we can turn your standard Traxxas Easy Start system into a remote start setting system. So we do actually incorporate the Easy Start by actually attaching it to the T. I've actually seen this done before. I've seen people manipulate the third channel on the transmitter to actually start the system, but what we're going to try to do today is incorporate the second channel on the transmitter to start the T. That way you're not having to sacrifice another very cool feature on the T. which is the reverse gear, to be able to start your T. using the remote system. So why don't we have a look at what's going under the bonnet here. Start by removing the clips on the body. Okay, I'll just grab the camera so we can get a closer look at exactly what's going on. Okay, so probably one of the first things you notice is we've added the Easy Start system. We've got it actually turned upside down, and it's actually resting on the receiver box and the exhaust over here. And how it's actually held in place, firstly what we've done is we've put a little bit of Velcro on top of the receiver box there, and we've also added a bit of Velcro onto the top of the Easy Start system. So when they come together, it helps hold it in place. And if we move along, you can see how it just rests on top of the exhaust pipe here. To add further stability, what we've done is I've added this little tie. And this little tie goes over the top of the Easy Start system, and it's held in place again using Velcro. I'll just undo this. And if you follow that around, I've made this little bracket, and this little bracket is attached using the screws which hold the gearbox in place. So that enables us to loop back around and then back onto the Easy Start system. So if I was to pull that back, you'll get a better look at what's going on. You've got a tie which comes to a piece of Velcro. That first bit of Velcro sticks to the Velcro that's sticking to the Easy Start, like so. Then we take it around, loops over the bracket, then back onto itself. And that makes it very, very strong. We could have actually just continued to take the strapping over here like that and put Velcro here and held it in place, but I've actually got another system which I've made which increases the fuel tank capacity, so our fuel tank actually sits on here as well. So that's why I've actually made this little bracket and done it this way. Okay, so if you follow to the end of where the Easy Start is, you'll see where we've got the Easy Start female section plugged into it. And what I've done is basically I've unscrewed the Easy Start system here, pulled the wires around and plugged it directly into the Easy Start system. And I'm using a rubber band which I've attached to the framework of the Easy Start system, and when that plugs in place, I pull the rubber band over this little screw which I just put in place, and that holds it on, so when you're driving around, it's getting bumped around, it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, and this rubber band is actually being used to hold down our Easy Start button. I'll just pull it up so you can have a look. So there's the Easy Start button. It's now held in place using that. So you're probably wondering why on earth then isn't it starting if our Easy Start button is down? And the reason it isn't is because we've actually bypassed the standard or the usual starting system. And how we've done that is you'll notice that the battery which goes to the Easy Start system is actually coming out of where the clip is in the Easy Start, and it's actually going through here to this little micro switch, and then once it's gone through the micro switch, it goes back around and then plugs into the normal socket for the Easy Start. So we've actually extended that cable, we've broken it at the black wires, and we've attached the black wires here and here. So there's three mounting points, and we've attached it to the bottom one and the center one. And once we trigger the switch, when it goes forward, that's what actually starts your Easy Start system. And so hence why the button is now put down. Okay, so we've seen the trigger. So what actually triggers the starter system? Well, you've got your throttle and your brake servo here, and what happens, I'll just turn the transmitter on here, turn it on at the bottom, and I'll turn it on at the side here. And what happens, you'll note that I'll just push the brake forward. When you brake, you notice that the bottom of this just makes contact with the switch, but not enough to actually trigger it. And when I throttle, this little cable here pulls on that, but it's not triggering anything, nothing's happening. So when I go to the throttle trim and turn it all the way down, it now adjusts this just slightly, so when I brake, it actually triggers it. And now when I throttle all the way out, it comes back and it pulls on this and releases the trigger, which has been held in place by this little magnet. You don't actually have to have this magnet, obviously, to actually put it in the trigger position, but the reason I've added the magnet is because with the T-Maxx, because it has a reverse gear. If you have the idle set too high, it sometimes won't go into reverse gear, so you tend to have to keep the idle running a little bit lower, which can make it sometimes a little bit more difficult to start, so you have to give it a little bit of throttle when you're starting. Using this system, a magnet actually holds the starter system down, so you can actually give it some throttle before you throttle so far forward that it actually releases the starter system. So what it means is now you can start the vehicle a lot more easily. You don't have to rely on having your finger forward and then hoping it starts before you take your brake off, and then it's actually starting. So that's the idea of doing that. Okay, now if we have a closer look at how the what do we call it? The micro switch, that's what it's called. The micro switch is held in place. So I've made a little bracket here, a little L bracket out of aluminium, and the switch is actually screwed into this little L bracket, and the magnet was also screwed into this little L bracket. This is actually a cupboard magnet which I've opened up, and it just happened to have a hole in it, so I put that screw through it and fixed it to place, and this is also screwed to it. And the bracket, the bottom part of the bracket, has holes in it, and what I've done is I've undone these screws which hold the servo in place, slid the bracket underneath, fixed it back in place, and so now that's fixed onto the servo, and you can use this to manipulate and control the starting and the stopping of the system. So that's how that works. Very cool. You will have to adjust this here, slide them forward a bit more than what it's probably set on now, and slide that further forward, but you'll see exactly how easy that is. You've just got to position it in a way so that when you full throttle, full brake, and the trim's down, that it's contacting that enough to actually start it. So that's no problem. I'm sure you're clever enough to work out where you need to position that. So that's basically it. That's how it works. It's obviously, it hasn't been starting while I've been doing it because the tank's empty. My purpose of this episode is just to show you how it's all set up. So that's basically it. That's how it works. So you will need your easy start. You will need a rubber band. You will need some Velcro. You'll need a tie. I've actually used a bit of coat hanger wire to bend this in place. You could alternatively just have this pulling across and have some Velcro here which will hold it in place, but like I said, I've actually got a tank which I sit over here, a reserve tank, and that's why I don't have it pulling through here. And you'll need a little bit of wire which releases the starter system when you full throttle. You'll need a micro servo, and you need some red and black wire to extend and form a brake for the micro switch. And that's basically all you need. You're away to go. So next time I intend to actually put another video on YouTube with this actually up and running. I'm running out of time today, but hopefully you'll have some fun putting this together, and you'll have a lot of fun being able to start it using your remote and getting the most out of your Traxxas T-Maxx. So until next time, have a lot of fun. Bye for now.